The following podcast is being brought to you by the Defy Life Podcast Network.
Maybe we can still heal you. Why? So you could just lock me up? No. Just bury me in the ocean with my ancestors that jumped from the ships. Because they knew death was better than bondage.
Oh, you think darkness is your ally? You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it, molded by it. I didn't see the light until I was already a man. By then it was nothing to me but blinding. The shadows betray you because they belong to me.
In the hell do you think you are?
Okay, it's not working out. I'm gonna need the suit back.
For how long?
Forever. Yeah, let's
No,
have it.
please.
Let's have it.
You don't understand. This is all I have. I'm nothing without this suit.
If you're nothing without this suit, then you shouldn't have it, okay?
So Oz, this week we are going to not only crown a champion in our March Madness Massacre tournament, even though it's April, but that's okay, but we also are going to have another great edition of an open mic here on Take a Knee. Real excited to have these guys on. This should be a lot of fun. Oz, it's been a while since we've had an open mic. We might be a little rusty.
Oh, I know, but you know, I feel like it's just gotta get get your muscles like working again. It's good. I'm excited too.
Yeah, I'm sure you are. Now, listen, I need you to be on your best behavior. Okay, we have guests. All right, we have guests here.
Am I not always on my best behavior?
All right, we'll get to that later. So let's get to our guests. We have from the Nerds with Friends podcast, Cody and Christian. Welcome to Take a Knee from Marvel vs. DC.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you for having us, guys. We're excited to be here.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Yes, and we are very excited to have you. Now, I do have to kind of give a disclaimer. I know you guys asked if anything was off the table as far as what we talk about on this show, and I just want to make sure it's on the record that everything is off the table. You can talk about absolutely anything you want. I mean, just don't be surprised if Uncle Oz goes into a story about going down a hill to have sex with cows.
It's a rant.
Because I have a bunch of hot takes on both abortion and the religious center of the United States, so I'm ready to do it.
Yes. Excellent.
Just kidding. Well, yeah, guys, we're super excited. Thank you for having us. Like we were saying a little bit earlier when we first met up, it's nice to do something productive and something nerdy during these troubled times that we're living in right now. So thank you for having us and keeping our minds on the things we love most.
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. This should be a lot of fun. And here on Open Mic, we just kind of let the conversation flow. But before we do all that, I'm just going to go ahead and get it out the way. I think we should go ahead and crown our champion of our March Madness Massacre tournament. And Cody and Christian, I don't know if you guys have been keeping up, but we've had this kind of big tournament that kind of came together last minute, and we've gotten to the finals with Captain America and Thor. What are your thoughts on those two characters?
So are we talking like Captain America has Mjolnir, or just straight up head to head?
That is an interesting point, because that would make a very big difference.
Yeah, because whoever holds the hammer Mjolnir has the powers of Thor. If
and
I had to read
that
the
was my
description.
question. Yeah, that was my question, because then they're equal. They're equal setting.
Yeah.
Let's go with the equal setting.
I will say that those are my two absolute favorite superheroes.
Nice.
So it is really a tough decision. If I was if there was someone I wanted to just like hang out with and maybe grab a beer with, I think Thor would be my go-to guy. Plus, he's got the literal powers of a god. But if I wanted someone to lead me into battle, I think I'd have to go with Cap.
Okay.
So true.
I mean, because even Thor it's like that's the one human he respects, right? Is Captain America. Like he's at least I feel it's the only mortal who's ever led him into battle. I don't think anyone else has ever given him battle plans or instructions, and he was just like, yeah, for sure.
I think he's the only one that he likes and loves some humans. I think he's like Captain America is the only one he considers like a warrior like him and respects him.
Yeah, absolutely.
You even kind of see that in the movies when they're kind of battling. You can kind of see the little camaraderie that they kind of build and almost the respect that Thor builds throughout the movies, and to the point where he lifts the hammer at the end. He's like, I knew it the whole time. And he's got this real excited grin on his face. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was almost like he was waiting on him to do it. So, yeah, you can kind of see that. I don't know if you guys know the results. They were on Twitter. But who do you all think the people chose as the champion of the first ever M-Cube tournament?
Ooh, if I was a betting man, which generally I am, I'd have to say I think that Thor right now has had some really good press just because of the dad bod Fat Thor. So I think I'd have to go with Thor. I think he probably edged out Cap by a little bit.
I would say audience-wise, Captain America. Comic book-wise, I would say Thor, just because he's had the powers longer and Cap is just new to it.
Oz?
I'm going with Cap, man.
And the people have spoken. And the people are never wrong except when they're wrong. And we will decide after this if they are wrong again. The people have spoken, and Thor, with 60% of the vote, has become the first ever March Madness Massacre champion.
That's amazing.
So let me ask, did the people get it right?
I would say yes.
I mean, it's hard to argue with him. I mean, we are recording this on Thor's Day anyway. So
yes.
It's hard to argue with the God of Thunder. Plus, he's gone through so many iterations through the years too. Captain America's always just kind of been Captain America, except for when he was a nomad, which was an interesting time.
And Hydra.
Oh man,
I don't count that. I don't want to talk
about that. I get heated every time I think about it.
We already have the coronavirus. Why would you bring this into the universe right now?
But I mean, you talk about Thor, Donald Blake, Thunderstrike. I mean, there's so many Frog of Thunder. He's had such a great cast of characters. I love Thor. Like I said, though, I do love them both. But Thor's the man for sure.
Yeah, I want to tell you both, like for you, Cody and Christian, and I guess regular Scott, sure.
Why not me?
I was never. Like sometimes I was like, I like Thor, Donald Blake Thor, but I was never really a big Thor fan until I got into the God Butcher.
Okay. When
I read that whole series, that whole line, it was incredible. I was just like, oh yeah, that's when I found a whole new respect, because like one of the things I always kind of bring up is that after a certain point, at the end of time, it's no longer the Odin Force, it's the Thor Force, and the Thor Force has been around longer than the Odin Force has. So it's interesting. It's really cool, that storyline for Thor. If you're a big fan of Thor, you should. That whole arc is just so brilliant to me.
Oh, I thought you was about to go into one. So I was getting some tools out. I was about to change the oil and stuff. So I didn't know. My bad.
Regular Scott, you told me to be on my best behavior. I am trying so hard.
You're right.
I encourage the worst behavior, if that means anything.
All right, well, before we get too deep into things, allow me to set the table. This is Take a Knee for Marvel vs. DC. I am your host, Regular Scott. I am here with my co-host, the comic connoisseur, the mighty Ozzy Killmonger. Oz, what's going on?
What is up, good people?
And we are joined on this great open mic by our guests from the, for Cody and Christian from the Nerds with Friends podcast.
Yeah.
Yo. Exactly.
Plug away.
That's Cody's department.
Sure. Yeah. We're called Nerds with Friends. You can find all of our information through nerdswithfriendspodcast.com. Got our Twitter, Instagram, Facebook groups all on there. We basically, we talk nerdy stuff just like you guys. We do a fun segment called Nerdy Confessions where we kind of confess the things that make us nerds. And, every week we like to try to bring some sort of aspect of nerd culture, whether it's video games or comic books or most recently like tabletop RPGs to our listeners. And we have a good time doing it. So, thank you guys for having us on. Again, that's at nerdswithfriendspodcast.com.
Absolutely. And I can tell you they do put on a very good show. A couple episodes ago, you guys had a comedian on. Is that correct?
Sandy Dento, yeah.
That's our buddy Sandy.
Tell everyone a little bit about kind of some of the guests that you all have on as well, because I know you guys do have guests as well.
Yeah, sure. We've been getting, luckily with, Skype and everything else, same way we're joining you guys, we've been able to get some fun people on to talk about, different parts of the industry. So we've had Satine Phoenix on, who's big time in the tabletop RPG world. We've talked to Luke Gygax, who is the son of Gary Gygax, who invented Dungeons and Dragons. We've had several voice actors on as well. Dave B. Mitchell and
Orion Akaba.
Orion Akaba, yep. Mm-hmm. So those guys have done like not only video games but TV shows and things like that.
Anime.
Anime,
Cool.
yeah, all that good stuff. And then of course our good friend Sandy Danto, who's a comedian. He kind of got his start opening for Pauly Shore, so that's a fun little glimpse into the comedy world.
He does an amazing impression of him too.
Oh,
The Weasel?
Oh yeah.
Weasel. Yeah.
The Weasel.
Yeah, and then we've had a couple authors on as well. Madeline Rue, who's a New York Times bestseller, and then Adam Christopher, who did like a tie-in to Stranger Things. So he did a in between quill between what was it, season 2 and 3, right, Christian?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, anyone we can get, we like to interview them and get some insight into the things that we are passionate about, and what better way to do it than to get right to the source.
Man, you guys definitely cover a lot of you cover all things nerdom. That is really true and cool.
We just try to cover the stuff that we love, so whatever we're into, then we just try to cover it.
Exactly.
Awesome.
There's never a shortage of nerdy things to talk about. We've been hitting the Tiger King pretty hard recently because that is the top of everyone's mind.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, we're that's definitely going to get touched on later in this conversation. And also, make sure you follow us on Twitter at @NE4MarvelVsDC. That's the number 4. You can email us at NE4MarvelVsDC@GoDefyLife.com. You can also find all our podcasts at DefyLifePods.com, where you can find all of Defy Life, the different podcasts that we have. You can also find us anywhere you get your podcasts: Spreaker, iTunes, Radio Public, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, Spotify, absolutely anywhere. You can get our podcast. You can find their podcast. Download, leave 5 stars, leave a review, check us out, check them out. Let's get to it. News tidbits. You guys ready to get into some news?
Oh, yeah.
I have a really bad news.
I'm
music.
sorry. I didn't know if you guys.
No. It's fine. It's fine.
Fuck yeah! I'm ready for the news.
No. I blame myself because I was trying to sneak away and get a beer. Yeah, I'm ready for the news.
Aren't you supposed to have a bucket there?
I know. I didn't get my bucket ready. I need to get. I
So
need my
need to
bucket and my
know,
bucket list.
what are you drinking?
Okay, so here's the thing for you guys. I was a huge
Disclaimer
fan-
first. I don't know if I'm ready. Okay.
Well, because, yeah, everything's a disclaimer. You're gonna find that out very soon. I was drinking Sierra Nevada hazy. I got on this hazy IPA kick for a while.
Okay, we can hang out.
And yeah, and then the hazy. Oh man, it was Speaking of Thunder, it was my thing for a long time. And then I was like, I gotta stop with the hazy because the hazy's pack a punch.
Yep.
And so I've been trying. It's called they're semi-local Stone Brewery, and it's a Tropic of Thunder Lager. And it's and as you can hear, it's nice sounding and pretty tasty.
Right,
What was it,
nobody
Cody,
knows
they
what a
used,
can
to,
sound
they used to
sounds
drink
like.
all the time when we first started?
Mescaline. It was mescaline. That's
Yes.
what I used to drink.
And then you moved to something a little bit harder.
Yeah,
And it was-
ayahuasca. Now I'm big on ayahuasca. Going on a vision quest.
Cody, what do you do? Oh wait, are you also doing a little peyote too? What is up with that?
I gave that up a long time ago. Peyote Cody doesn't do very good pod, but
It was really bad. Fun for me, but bad for the show.
So let me see. Cody, mescaline, Christian, you were doing some absinthe. Okay, but that's cool, right? Okay.
Dude, you know what's fucking funny is that I had absinthe right next to me. That's fucking funny.
Shut up.
Hey, you got to take something.
It's absinthe 66. It's someone gave it to me.
Wait. So with the worm in there and everything?
No.
Okay.
the wormwood.
Yeah, you gotta try some. You got to do it.
I do not like absinthe. I've had it before, and
Yeah, man.
It's
just
terrible.
It is. I got it as a
sucks.
gift. It's not like I could refuse it.
Why are you telling this
Yeah.
man to have some, and you just said it's terrible?
Oh, well,
it's real bad.
Yeah, why you
there's
doing
something
that?
about there's something about shared misery. I had
Oh, yeah.
I had some in the Czech Republic like years ago, and it was you do it just so you can say you did it, and then you never do it again.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you do it again, you should probably figure you got some issues going on. I think so.
I was trying to see the Green Fairy, and she never showed up.
Yeah, exactly.
I did have some weird dreams that I don't remember, but I just remember waking up and like, the fuck was I dreaming about?
Oh.
In all seriousness, though, I'm a big bourbon guy. I do love beer, but I've been doing that keto diet for the past month, so got to cut my carbs down to 0. So but bourbon's got 0, so I've been doing that almost every night.
So what do you do? You're just bourbon on the rocks, or what?
Normally I do it neat, but if it's a warm day or something, I'll throw a couple ice cubes in there. I think, especially when it comes to like barrel proof stuff, which is basically pulled right from the barrel.
Mm-hmm.
That stuff can be a little harsh, so sometimes I'll throw an ice cube in there every once in a while. But yeah, I love it. It's so good.
Yeah, I've been actually thinking about getting a bottle of thanks COVID. Been thinking about getting a bottle of some vodka.
Oh yeah,
okay.
You were thinking about getting some vodka?
I know, dude. I'm just like,
What the hell going on?
If this is a true confession, I might as well tell you guys what my days are. So my job is to say like, hey, you need to work from home until all this silliness is over. Like, I dig it. So like I'm in production, so I do a ton of editing, and then I bake a lot of cookies, dude.
This is not where I thought this story was going.
Right.
Cookie production.
So listen. I edit, I bake cookies, and then I'm like, well, I can just have beer. So I think aside from that, I was going, the beer's good, but I think I might have to hit some of the liqueur.
Oh my
in
God.
it, and I don't want to do Everclear because. Well, that's not a good thing.
Because
either,
no one does.
Well, and no one ever really wants to do tequila. So sorry, so it's okay.
I feel like that
guys
was a
who
direct
swear
attack
by
at
it.
me.
Hey Christian, I'm with you. I did not expect that to go there. cookies and bacon, and he sounds like he's just a chipper old guy. Well, good day's work done. Let me have a drink.
So I would tell you, my wife has like special dietary needs, right? And so like she's got a soy allergy. So I've been making her vegan chocolate chip cookies, and they're pretty damn good, I have to say.
Oh, nice.
So we're expecting a box now.
No, I can easily ship you guys a box. Regular Scott, when I spend most of my time, I do cook sometimes,
So listeners, when you guys listen to our show, we're going to be reviewing these cookies, and we're going to give a real honest review.
Now, and for your listeners, there will be special cookies too. They may have a little something else in them, but it's fine. It's going to be okay.
Wow.
Well, you know how I roll. Throw some, grind up some peyote in there.
It's just chocolate chip peyote cookies. It's fine.
Yeah,
I wonder
no
how
big deal.
hard it would be to get peyote right now. You think drug dealers are still showing up like with masks and shit? Like you just call them?
Yeah, they're definitely showing up with masks. Though. Now it's like, how do you know if you're getting a drug sale, if you're getting robbed?
Well, I guess if you're burning it anyway, it's gonna destroy the vibe. Yeah, you should be good.
Yeah, you put the money on the ground and then walk 6 feet away, and then they grab the money and put the drugs on the ground, and then walk 6 feet away. You got to keep it safe.
We don't know from experience. This is just Cody's just speaking.
Suggestions.
Totally hypothetical. Like this did not just happen today at all.
I read it in a magazine.
Yeah, it's not like you say, hey, did you get the Bitcoin? Cool, you get 6 feet away from me. It's fine. It's okay.
Yeah,
it's
I like a contactless delivery, please.
Well, actually, what it is, Cody, it's drones. The drones drop it off. So.
Ooh, yeah, take it into the future.
I would just keep the drone.
Right. You're not getting that back.
No, sorry, buddy, that was your mistake.
You're not getting that back. Not only you losing your drugs, learn? But you ain't getting this drone back.
What did you learn?
All right, let's get to some news tidbits. Let's start in the DCEU. The Batgirl movie that is rumored to be coming out is set to be in the DCEU, and that is to include Robert Pattinson's Batman. We'll start with our guests, Cody or Christian, whoever wants to start. I guess, what are your thoughts on Robert Pattinson and Matt Reeves' Batman that's going to come out hopefully next year if everything gets straightened away? And what are your thoughts on a potential Batgirl movie and a connection between the two?
I like the car. And I'll leave it at that.
Interesting.
I like the car too.
I don't know, man. I'm holding. I normally don't. I usually have an opinion and I'll state it, but I'm holding my opinion on this just because. I mean, if it's hard to think the guy from Twilight is gonna be Batman, but at the same time, he's an actor and that's his job is to become a role. I did like him in that Lighthouse movie.
Yes, exactly.
So it's I don't know, man. I'm just gonna go with it at this point. I don't know what Cody's thoughts are on it, but
that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hopeful. I like that they're going for a somewhat younger version of Batman. It sounds like they might be pulling from like the Batman Year One run.
Mm-hmm.
When I first saw the suit, when they did the little reveal, I wasn't super stoked on it, but the more pieces I've seen of it looked okay. And I'm a big Matt Reeves fan. I mean, what he did for the Planet of the Apes, series, I think, he's definitely proven himself to take a subject matter that, already has a bit of a following and really do it justice, but also maybe taking it in a new direction. As far as the Batgirl, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, so you weren't a fan of Tim Burton's Planet of the Apes?
Not exactly. I mean,
shout out to Marky.
Get your damn human hands off me. What is that? What, dude?
Yeah, it was interesting for sure. I think Tim Burton did a better job with Batman than he did with Planet of the Apes, which would be interesting.
Yeah, that's
because
tough.
Now Matt Reeves, who has done Planet of the Apes, is doing Batman. So that's kind of an interesting parallel that I just thought of right now.
Life goes full circle. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. But I am excited as far as the Batgirl movie goes. I mean, it really is going to depend on how the Batman movie comes out. I am surprised that they're doing Batgirl before they're doing Robin, because there's been no mention of Robin yet. But I think she's a cool character, and especially if they do something, maybe her interaction with the Joker, and well, I guess they probably wouldn't do that because they haven't cast a Joker, and we don't know about the whole Joaquin Phoenix movie and everything. So
yeah,
she's a cool character. What was that?
I think it's too scary to like bust out a like her interacting with the Joker right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I think they want to try and like at least establish her a little bit, and then man.
Yeah, I mean, I think she's a cool character, but I think it will, especially for a character like that, it really depends on how good the main movie is, which would be the Batman, because taking out, like trying to make one without Batman in it, I think we'll run into the same case where we had with the Venom movie, where like the universe that it's based off is it's like semi-present but not entirely there. I think the overall character would suffer, but I'm excited for the new Batman movie. So as long as they do the same thing with the Batgirl movie, I'm down to see it. I'm going to see it regardless.
Mm-hmm. Well, what do you think though? Do you think like maybe they could pull it off, like sort of like what they did with the Ben Affleck Daredevil, and when they did the Elektra one, which was far better than Daredevil was?
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, it'll depend on
Oh, damn! Whoa.
Well, I know. I probably was about to do that too. Did you just say Elektra was better than Daredevil?
Well, I just said, and I also just dropped something too. But
is that what you said, though?
I gotta tell you, I saw Elektra again, and I thought Elektra was far better than Daredevil too.
Are you what? Really?
Yeah,
bro, that is borderline asinine.
I wish I had popcorn.
It's kind of weird.
That is very weird.
I liked the Elektra movie. You know what? Because I could tell you what bummed me out.
I'm not gonna pile up on you. I'll let those two just do it.
Oh, I can take it. I can just tell you, dude.
Shots fired at you for that, man.
Kingpin sucked, dude. Kingpin and that Daredevil sucked.
Whoa, Michael Clark Duncan, rest in peace.
Yeah, man.
I know,
talking ill about the dead,
respect,
man.
dude, but he sucked in that, dude.
But more than
What
that
about Bullseye?
Yeah, he beat like more than that Bullseye, like.
Oh, hey, dude, there's more things that suck. Daredevil was kind of pretty crappy.
Who was the villain in Elektra?
The hand with a bunch of different like kind of handish people.
Oh, we got the handish people coming after Jennifer Gardner. Better watch out.
I got this.
Let Weinstein.
Hold on. Dude, you got freaking Bullseye. Bullseye, who has to let you know who I am, I'm gonna have a Bullseye tattoo. Not even tattooed; it's embroidered on his head.
Okay, so he used a Sharpie. I mean, let's give him a break. He couldn't afford a tattoo.
Dude, I don't even know if that was a Sharpie. It was more like a big pen, old school big pen. It was terrible.
We got completely off topic. I don't know. I mean, this guy just. I cannot believe you said that.
It's our fault. We do it happens on our show. We just bring it. It just happens.
I couldn't believe he said that, and I was like, wait a minute, did he just say that?
Wait, hold on. Wait. Let's get back to it. You're saying Bullseye in the Daredevil movie was awesome.
Nobody said that.
No,
rest
I'm not
in peace
saying that.
was awesome.
No, nobody said
I'm
that.
saying it was better than Elektra.
Yeah, that's all we're saying.
Never. Put it to a Twitter poll. Never. Nah.
All right.
I actually don't have an opinion, but I just thought it was funny to have 3 people against you.
To answer your question, though, I think that Batgirl will definitely be better than Elektra or Daredevil.
Oh yeah. So here's where my concern is with.
Will it be better than the Green Hornet though?
Also, yes.
Here's my concern with the Batgirl movie coming out so soon after the Batman, and we know the Batman is going to be kind of in his earlier years. Mm-hmm. What concerns me is that we are going to run into another situation where Barbara Gordon and Bruce Wayne are hooking up. This is what concerns me with the timeline of these movies right now. We're going to get like another Killing Joke type deal, and they're going to end up having sex on a rooftop, and I'm going to vomit a little bit in my mouth.
What a cock blocker, man! You just don't want Batman to get laid. Like,
not from a little girl that he's been preying on since she was 15. No, not her.
Christian,
dude, he was just planting a seed, and then he watched it grow, and it was just the waiting game.
That's exactly what he did.
That's called pregnancy. But Christian, no. Don't get regular Scott wrong. It's just like he's against like pedophiles. Oh man, vomit a little bit in your mouth. I'll vomit a lot in my mouth if that happens again. So I was just hoping that under some amazing circumstances they do this Batgirl thing. That sure, do Batman kind of year one-ish, and then if you do Batgirl, you can have a younger Batgirl who sees this older Bruce Wayne, and then have Batgirl be older and have a maybe older Patrick, I guess, or older Robert. I don't know. That's the only way it can work, because I don't want to see these two having any sort of kind of like partnership that's like almost same age stuff. It sucks, and then that leaves out Robin too.
Yeah, you don't want that will they won't they vibe, right?
Yeah,
not with those two, man. It's just so weird. Like I picture Batman.
Is your argument is that you want Robin to bang Batman? Is that?
My argument is always this: you cannot have your so-called mentor. He's like, hey, by the way, I've touched you everything I know, and I'm also fucking Batgirl. You cool with that? No, I'm not. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not cool
one more position.
Bruce, you're supposed to be my father figure. Why are you like digging up on the girl who I love? Don't you have Catwoman? He's like, I do, and I got your girl too.
Now you can call me Daddy. Daddy.
Dude.
And think about him going to meet Jim on the rooftop when he lights the signal. Now, how's he gonna look at Jim? How's he look at Jim every day?
Wouldn't that be the best? Hey, I fucked your daughter, and then bam! But like he just leaves. Like,
wait, do you all get the point of why every time he like Jim Gordon's always like, you always leave before I have a chance to say anything. He's like, yeah, because he can't stand to look at the guy. He's like, dude, I have just banged your daughter. I got to get out of here.
No,
my bat conscience is getting to me.
The best thing would be like if you see Jim Gordon standing next to the bat signal. He's like, man, where is he? Where could he possibly be? And flash cut to Wayne Manor, and you just hear the bed springs.
or he's leaving out of the Gordon's home. I got somewhere to go.
See, this is what I'm worried about. And next thing you know, they're going to cast Kristen Stewart as freaking Batgirl.
Oh God!
And we're going to have a real Twilight reunion in a Matt Reeves Killing Joke movie.
Why would you bring that like into the universe? Like you just saying it, like I feel like makes it that it might be a possibility.
Okay, all I gotta say is if Bruce Wayne in the daytime shimmers like diamonds, I'm done. Okay.
Well, he's got a strong chin though. That's the one thing where I'm like, okay, this could really work because he's got a chiseled jaw. It's gonna look good in the mouth, you know?
I do think the suit and he'll pull off the Batman aspect. He'll probably be a good Bruce Wayne too.
Oh, I think he can pull off the Bruce Wayne part pretty good. Now, so wait, let's talk a little bit about the car. So you guys really like the car, huh?
I like American muscle cars, and that's the vibe I get from it. So.
Okay.
Yeah, I like the direction they took instead of like. Now the Christopher Nolan movies are awesome. You know, I don't want to take anything away from those. But the first time they pulled out the freaking tumbler tank thing, I was like, to me, that doesn't look like the Batmobile. You know, I grew up with the Tim Burton one, the animated series, this really sleek, you know, jet-powered car, and then they bring out this big, chunky-looking tank.
Yeah.
So I'm down that it's you know, first of all, it's like his first iteration of the Batmobile. At least that's how it looks.
Right.
So it's not super over the top, but yeah, I get that. Like, you know, it looks like a Mustang or like an old school Charger, maybe. I really like that.
Well, I actually, since you brought it up, Cody, it kind of looks like to me like the old school Batman from like the 80s comic books, where he had like kind of like his car was more like a more like a sports car, unfortunately like a bat sports car, but it had that kind of vibe to me for it. So
yeah,
I would tell you this: I love the car more than I love the suit. The suit was just like going, okay.
Suit's a little rough, I think.
And I've seen cuts, I guess, where I don't know if someone like snuck onto the set and like took pictures, and it looked really, really bad. But I had a bunch of people just telling me like, oh, that's how suits look. Like they look different after post production.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, the motorcycle picture that everyone saw on the internet, that looked really rough. But that's also a stunt suit. It has to be made of flexible material to ride a motorcycle and whatnot. So I'm not as worried about that. And then a lot of people are saying that the bat on his chest is made out of the pieces of the gun that killed his parents or something like that. So I don't know. I'm down. It's definitely not, judging from where the bat suit has come, I don't think it's, a bad iteration of it. I just don't. I want him to be able to move his head around, unlike the Tim Burton ones where it's like full body turns every single time.
We're literally.
How do you feel about nipples on the bat suit? Is you for it?
I'm 100% in.
Man, and a muscle bound Mr. Freeze. Now the only way Tim Burton's Batman could literally move his head was when he had to rip his suit, like his cowl, off his face. Yeah. I was like, this is terrible. It's terrible.
Now, when they first announced the Batman movie, well, they announced that Robert Pattinson was going to be the new Batman. How cool would it have been if instead of doing like Batman Year One, they did Batman Beyond with what's his name? I can't think of his name.
Terry McGinnis.
Tim Burton. Yeah, but with Tim Burton's Batman, Michael Keaton as Bruce Wayne coming back, and then you got Robert Pattinson as Terry McGinnis. How sick would that be?
Cody, I will tell you how cool that would be. It'll be fucking cool.
So we have a segment on the show that's normally called Uncle Oz Gives Away $1 million, where he comes up. We don't do it that often because it involves a good idea, but every now and then he does.
The financial strain is terrible.
But when it does have a good idea, we do this segment called Uncle Oz Gives Away $1 million. And Cody, I think you might have just took the segment because I think that's a great idea.
That's a great idea.
Here's my only thing, though. I've always, ever since I saw Stranger Things, I've always thought the guy that plays Steve Harrington, I've always thought he would be a great Terry McGinnis.
He would be. He's awesome. He'd have to bulk up a little bit, but I mean,
I think that's the problem.
Get paid
he's a
for.
bit small. Yeah, I agree with you on that. Robert Pattinson is a bit more. He's got the body more for it than he does. I agree with you on that.
100%. But yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, if you like $1 million ideas, you should listen to some of the ones we've come up with. Christian and I literally called. Go ahead, Christian.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say we literally called Blade. Like we called it. The only thing is, like, we recorded it like a week before, and then we posted it right when Comic-Con happened. So it's like, fuck, no one's gonna believe that we just predicted this shit.
Not only did we call Blade coming to the MCU, but we actually named the actor.
That was you. I said Blade. Yeah. I said I would love if they redid Blade, and then you called the actor.
I was like, Marshall Ali would be awesome. Too bad he's already in Luke Cage. And they're like, oh, just kidding. That doesn't count.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
Hey, you're going to have to start just putting them joints on Twitter. As soon as you come up with an idea, posting.
You got to say it. You got to say it. You got to say it.
Post it.
Bam. There it is for the world to see.
Oh, that's awesome.
Well, Oz, you just lost your spot, so you might end up losing your co-hosting job by the end of this show.
Wait, hey, Rick Scott, what do you mean? I'm about to go post my my $1 million idea about Michael Keaton and Robert Pattinson.
That episode already came out, so you'll be seeking legal counsel.
What was the other one? The other one was like Reverse House of M with
Reverse
Scarlet
House
Witch.
of M, which is how they're going to bring the X-Men into the Marvel universe. Scarlet Witch is going to want more mutants because she sees a vision of her could be children with Vision who are mutants. And then in Black Panther 2, he's going to fight Namor, the Submariner, and it's going to be like two kings fighting against each other. And in the end, Namor is going to see like, oh, they're the same but different. And then he's going to be like the anti-hero, and he'll come back and join the MCU.
There was a Fantastic Four idea too. I don't remember that one.
Those are all great. Those are good.
Yeah, the Fantastic Four one was that it starts off in the 60s when the Fantastic Four originally came out. So it's kind of like hokey and they have the blue suits and everything. But then they get trapped in the negative zone during, an experiment or something like that, along with Dr. Doom. And then the Thanos snap brings them back into our reality. And that's how they join the MCU. So they're kind of like another, family out of time kind of thing.
I think another one we said was possibly like they were stuck in the multiverse or in the microverse. The one
in the microverse. Oh, yeah. That could make sense too.
Where Ant-Man, when he went in, like they were just stuck there, like with what was it? The first Ant-Man's wife, where she was stuck. And
Janet Van Dyne.
Yeah, and they can usually see a glimmer of him, and so they're like, "Oh, there's a way out," and follow him out. You guys are brilliant. Those are so good.
So
if any of that actually happens, that Kevin Feige is listening to Nerds with Friends every week to steal our ideas.
No, I love the whole Black Panther and Namor because there was some of the comics have them. Actually, Wakanda and Atlantis used to fight way back in the day.
Yep, and they mentioned it in the Endgame too. They mentioned that there was an underwater earthquake going on, which is a reference to Atlantis. So
yep.
Seems like the groundwork's there,
Oh, I love all that. That's so good.
Scarlet Witch.
That's what, like $6 million?
Oh yeah, that's probably at least. I heard at least 6 ideas, so that's at least $6 million. But we're only going to take 2 of them. We're only going to take 2.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, we're only going to take 2. So after we get rid of Oz's contract, then we can probably come back and get like 2 more. But that's
there we go. Yeah, that's fine.
Hold on.
I'll keep them coming.
All right.
Wait, I'm supposed to have a contract. Wait,
yeah. But we'll talk about that after the show. The Scarlet Witch idea is one that actually we talked about as well. We've talked about how we think that is going to be how mutants are going to get introduced into the MCU. And I've kind of one of the ideas that I've kind of floated around is it's only going to be a matter of time before we get another X-Men movie. But instead of us always introducing the X-Men 8, 7 at a time, I think this is a good opportunity to start introducing X-Men one at a time. One character here in this movie, one character. Like now would be a good time to introduce Storm in the Black Panther movie. You can introduce a whole host of different characters all over the place in different areas and whatnot. And then you kind of build to an X-Men movie, and that way there's no pressure on who's going to be in the group and who's going to be cast. You can kind of slow build to it. But
well, I think that's also why the Avengers did so well, is we started off with just Iron Man and proved that could be a standalone movie. And then we went to the Hulk, which admittedly wasn't the best, but, still a decent attempt. And then Cap and then Thor. And then, you have these other side characters, peppered in there. And then you've kind of built character development for all of them and bring them together. And that makes the movie like Avengers so much better, which is why I think the Justice League movie was kind of a letdown. We've had Superman, yes. And we've had, but then we're introduced to this new version of Batman, introduced to Wonder Woman, introduced to Aquaman and Flash. And we're just supposed to throw them all together and expect there to be chemistry and like buy into these characters. I think that's kind of where the DCEU kind of misstepped.
Speaking of which, who knows what's going to happen with the Flash now with that video that surfaced of
what the hell's wrong with that guy? I mean, seriously, like what the hell's wrong with that guy? Wasn't he wearing a dress too?
No, it was like a big red overcoat or something.
All right, no, I couldn't tell.
Wait. He was. There's a video of him just wearing a big red overcoat.
Wait, you haven't seen this?
Oh yeah, you haven't seen the video?
I haven't. I'm sorry.
Are you joking? Or are you serious? It's like blew up everywhere.
Oh, please explain it, Christian, please.
So it's just him, and he's like, you could tell he's
Ezra
on.
Miller.
Ezra Miller. He's either drunk or on something, and you
both.
see. It was overseas. I think it was, I'm not going to say the country because I'm just going to get it wrong. But you just see this girl and she just kind of like play fights, like puts her fists up, but you could tell she's totally joking. And he's like, "Oh, you want to fight? You want to fight?" And he grabs her by the neck and he like brings her down. Like he doesn't throw her and he doesn't necessarily like judo drop her, but he brings her down. And then the person recording is like, "Oh, dude, stop. It's like, you could have stopped it before instead of recording, and that's where the video cuts off.
So Flash has super fast reaction time. He couldn't stop himself.
Man,
like I said, what the hell's wrong with that guy?
I don't know. He's an interesting character.
I mean,
I
he
think
was
the
very
Flash movie's dead. I think that's dead.
Yeah, I mean, they're probably going to recast. I can't imagine. I mean, unless he has an amazing PR team. But even then, I don't know what the hell they could really say.
All right,
I wouldn't be opposed for them pulling Grant Gustin from the Arrowverse version and have him be a Flash from a different timeline or something,
Well, that's what I was actually going to
replaces
ask. Let's go ahead and let's do a couple more $1 million ideas. Who would you cast? Who would you recast as Barry Allen? Or do you go in a different direction and use a different Flash?
Like Wally West?
Like Wally
West
maybe
is
even go in the
pretty
future and use Bart.
That's true. I think the one thing that, keeps me from suggesting that is that when you're doing something like the Justice League or like a Flashpoint or some of these iconic stories, most of the time they're going to have, they're always going to reach for like the most iconic version of that character, which is why they're doing, not that we want to mention the Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern, but it's why they did a Hal Jordan. And it's, why, it's always been Bruce Wayne Batman, and why my Michael Keaton led Batman Beyond probably won't ever happen in the live action. Because people, while we know these characters, and Wally West has a huge following in the comics, as does can't think of like John Stewart, Green Lantern. I don't see Warner Brothers taking the leap and making a character that's not known to everyone.
I would challenge that and say, because of the success of the Spider-Verse and how they brought multiple different Spider-Mans and it did, that it could change. I think if other studios are like, oh shit, they introduced all these other like side characters of this main character from other universes,
but they still had Peter Parker. That's the thing. So if they had made into the Spider-Verse,
it was Peter Parker, and there was no main Peter Parker in there. Not the one, not from Maine. What is it? Earth 816 or 818? I forgot whatever canon.
Oh, right. Yeah.
616, I think it is.
616.
But yeah, I mean, but you still had a Peter Parker who was going out with not Aunt May, who had an Aunt May, and who was going out with Mary Jane.
I can't take all this incest. This is crazy.
That's enough for the wider audience. If it was just a Miles Morales movie, I don't think it would have done as well.
Yeah, but Cody, think about what you just said though. You still have you have Michael Keaton who like our generation and especially my generation knows as Bruce Wayne, as an older Bruce Wayne, and I just think the caption of having Batman Beyond, that would be a selling point for people. You know what I mean?
Oh, I'm 100% sold on that one.
You know what I mean? So I think if it says Batman Beyond, people would be like, I'm into it, because you have the name brand of Batman,
right?
Plus the Beyond future part, and then you also have Michael Keaton there. That truly, what you just said, is truly a $1 million idea, dude. That's for real.
And I think, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to touch on something that Christian brought up. He brought up Into the Spider-Verse and how, that it brings a whole host of different characters. But with that being said, do you think DC should be shifting gears and maybe looking towards the animated movie genre to kind of be able to open more doors like that? Because I don't think you can pull that movie off live action.
That's very interesting that you bring that up, because I haven't been a big fan of most of the DC films. I'll be perfectly honest, and people can hate on me. But that being said, I love a lot of the animated films. Like a
Thank
lot of those.
Thank you very much, Christian. Thank you very much.
Are great. And so, I mean, do what you're doing well. You know, if you're doing well on that side, just lean hard into it. Like Marvel's already got the live action, dude. Like that's done. You know, like you're playing catch up. Like just lean hard into what you're already doing.
Well, and what you said earlier, Christian, too. Like, look, so the reason why Justice League and that Batman and Superman, minus Superman, a lot of that didn't work because they were just trying to like play catch up while Marvel was coming home, sliding into home base. They're just trying to like get on first base.
Yeah, they're trying to hit a grand slam right off the bat, you know.
And it will never ever work. But and I will say this too, like you said again, Christian, like DC movies, DC animation, love them. Marvel animation is DC movies. DC animation are Marvel live action. Okay.
But there are some good DC movies. There are some good DC movies. Like I would say there are more good DC movies than Marvel animated movies.
I'm actually, and I get a lot of flack for this on our show, but I'm actually a proponent of Man of Steel. I actually really enjoyed that movie.
I do too. I'm right there with you.
You and Regular Scott will have a love fest forever.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. Let me close my eyes.
Yeah. I think that, people are way too hard on that movie. And I think that if I'm thinking back at it, it's probably my favorite Superman movie, just edging out Superman 2. I think that there's good stuff there. They've just had poor execution. They're trying, like you said, they're trying to get to the finish line without running the rest of the race, kind of thing, without putting in the work. So,
you know what I would love to see? What's the video game? Is it Justice?
Injustice.
Injustice. Like when I saw Henry Cavill play the evil Superman, like when he was turning to watch the Flash run and like that look he gave him, like,
that was so
if
good.
if they leaned into that and made like the evil Superman like an Injustice movie, I think that would be good because Henry Cavill was awesome just in that little bit. I mean, his Superman I was fine with. I think he looked amazing. I was a big fan of how he portrayed his human side. I'm forgetting that person.
Clark Kent.
Clark Kent, but the Superman aspect was great. But I think if they did like an evil Superman with him, that'd be amazing.
They don't have the heart to do an evil Superman on the big screen.
Well,
I do not think they have the heart to do that. Or an evil Batman for real. Like I think that's the most. Like I think that's why the Batman didn't work because like people thought that Batman was probably evil. Like just a casual person's like, why is Batman blasting people away?
I'm going to tell you this. It was rumors like this is almost a decade ago. Like rumors like Mark Miller did this bit called Nemesis, where it was an evil Batman. He was genius level, super rich, but he was fucking up like. So his whole thing. If you guys haven't heard about it, his whole thing is he would go around the world and find the world's best detective, the world's best police officer, and ruin their lives, dude. And it was great.
So he could be the best detective because that's his deal.
Right. Well, it is
taking out the competition.
Yeah, he's like, why are you doing this? He's just like, well, why not? And it's supposed to be rumored that it was going to be turned into a movie, but it never did. But I would love to see that take on things,
Right. I agree.
Go ahead.
There's a lot of these awesome storylines that I just don't ever see coming to the big screen because
no balls.
It's the studios themselves are just, they want the safe bet. They're not trying to take a bunch of risks. Though I will say Marvel has done a good job with things like Guardians of the Galaxy, which was never a huge book, but like there was always these side characters, and you had Adam Warlock come in, during the Infinity stuff, but like to think that they would make a whole now coming on 3 movies with the Guardians of the Galaxy is crazy with Rocket Raccoon and Groot and everything.
Well, Daredevil too. I mean, I'm sorry, Deadpool.
Deadpool, yeah. It's I never thought that I would live in a world where we would have an R-rated, like perfectly written Deadpool movie. Like the movie's amazing, and we live in an amazing time to have some of these things like an Avengers movie, like to do the whole Infinity War and Endgame like storyline with that many people in it. Like if you had asked me even 5 years ago if I thought that was going to turn out as well as it did, I would have told you were crazy. But
oh yeah,
they've laid down the groundwork, and I think that's where DC is struggling. Now, if going back to say, let's go back to like Batman, the Christopher Nolan Batman. If they started the expanded universe back then, and you had hints of Superman, and
I know.
If what's his name at the end didn't say that his first name was Robin, and he actually turned into like a Dick Grayson or something, I think that then we would have been deep enough into it by now that a Justice League movie would work. And then you could get into alternate reality stuff like, the Batman Who Laughs or that Nemesis or whatever.
Yeah.
But because they're essentially going to, with the Batman movie coming out, it sounds like they're starting fresh. So, I don't know if we'll ever see it unless it takes off,
Well, Cody, let me ask you this then. How do you think, and Christian, you as well, how do you think the Justice League movie would have done if we would have gotten Aquaman and Wonder Woman before that? Because both of those movies were pretty well received.
Right. I was not a fan of the Aquaman movie, man. The soundtrack was bad. I love Jason, Momoa. I love him, and like that's probably the only thing that kept me watching it. But like
Amber Heard is terrible.
And
dude, her wig was terrible.
She's easy on the eye.
Wait, Christian, I'm not trying to cut you off. Cody.
Oh no.
We Cody, we have a whole like rating system based on how shitty her wig was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that one takes the cake for sure.
Yeah, dude.
But Nicole Kidman had some pretty cool fight scenes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
I mean, there was some cool stuff. Black
Manta.
Yeah,
Black
his
Manta.
suit was. His suit was fantastic, and I love that they stayed close to like the comics. I mean, there were some aspects that I did enjoy, but as a whole, I did enjoy that they took his weakest fucking power. I will say this: they took his weakest power of talking to fish, and they leaned into it hard, and they made it into a great asset. So that part, that was cool. I will say that, like that part, I did enjoy.
Release the Kraken.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I think my whole take on it is I think, yes, it would have done better if we had not only Wonder Woman, but Aquaman and a Flash movie ahead of time.
Sure.
Depending on how good that Flash movie turned out and, how many fans he beat up beforehand. But I think that that was really what that story was missing. They teased it at the end of Batman v Superman. They're like, oh, look at all these metahumans that we found, and then they're like, oh, Justice League is formed together. You guys already know who these people are because they're, we mentioned the casting, but you haven't had any attachment to them aside from Wonder Woman at that point, because she was in Batman versus Superman.
Right. True.
I think that I think that a big mistake in that movie was having Cyborg in there as opposed to someone like either Shazam or Martian Manhunter.
Or freaking Green Lantern, dude. Jesus
or
Christ.
Green Lantern for that matter, yeah. And I think because he's not as well known of a character for those legacy people. Like my dad used to read, comic books back when he was a little kid.
Right.
And he would not know who Cyborg is. But he would know Martian Manhunter or Green Lantern or Green Arrow. Any of these other characters who have a bit more of a legacy behind them. But, to make the group join up in that movie and you're supposed to get a little bit of backstory from Batman telling you their backstory. It was just, there was no attachment to any of the characters. It wasn't a big deal when they joined together because we already knew they were going to join together.
Because that's who they are.
League.
Yeah, and by the way, it's okay for Batman to shoot people too and kill them.
Yeah. Well, I'm also a big fan of Batfleck, so I might not be the DC guy that you want representing this.
Oh no! I'm a DC guy too. I'm right there with you. I thought Batfleck is great. I think he's awesome.
I think that he shot too many people. That's definitely.
He should have never been shooting anyone. He has the potential to be such an amazing Batman. But as soon as I saw him shooting people with the assault rifle, I was like, oh, come on, guys, what are you doing?
That was
outside of that though, that fight scene was amazing. How he used his environment and how he would hide in the movie. Like that was how I imagine like Batman would be attacking. And it reminded me a lot of the Arkham games, and that's to me it was like that fight scene up until the gun was fantastic because he used his environment, he used his grappling gun. Like they never had a chance. Like those guys had zero chance against him.
You're right.
Him climbing around the outside of the building and stuff like that. You know, when he's shooting his grappling hook and going up to like the gargoyle thing sticking off and then jumping down. I mean that. It's funny we're trying out a new segment on our podcast called The Best of the Best, where you take the best part of, a certain character or a certain series. And I think that might be some of the best Batman that we've ever seen as far as, from a film standpoint.
Best fight scene ever put to film
ever
for Batman.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, 100%.
But hey, look, that was one news tidbit. That was one news tidbit. That was just the first news tidbit there, gentlemen.
Hey, that was almost one beer. What the hell?
Listen. So now we have to take a break. I gotta pay bills after that. I might have to pay double bills for that. So we're gonna take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. We got plenty more with Nerds and Friends. And hopefully Uncle Oz will get some more drinks and let's just all get a drink.
And a bucket.
And please go get a bucket. We'll be right back.
Welcome to the Anything, Everything, and Nothing podcast with Lynn and Kim. Join us as we discuss the latest in everything from entertainment and current events to the craziness that is our real life.
Let's laugh, let's live, let's talk about it. New episode every Tuesday on the Defy Life Podcast Network. And remember, if you're not defying life, then what are you doing? Lynn and Kim.
And we are back. Definitely make sure you are checking out the Anything, Everything, and Nothing podcast with the lovely ladies Lynn and Kim. I was about to give out a spoiler, but actually I can. The former Battleground champions. We have crowned a new champion of the Battleground here at the Defy Life Network. I can 100% tell you it is definitely not my co-host Uncle Oz because he got kicked out in the first round. Shout out to you, Oz. Your silence speaks volumes.
No. I'm just saying, dude. Just wait till the next
sitting
one.
In defeat.
Just wait till the next one. And I understand how the questions can be a little biased and a little planted. I will work on getting Social Security numbers for Batmite.
All right, so Cody and Christian, we here at the network, here at Defy Life, we among all the shows that we have and the different hosts and different things we have with the network, we do this trivia battleground that myself and another host on another show came up with to kind of just get all the hosts together, have a little fun and whatnot, and the winner gets some gear, whatever they want, shirts, bags, whatever they want. So, and. This has been the third season of it, and Uncle Oz has not held it down for our podcast. And I am just not happy with the performances. I even put him through a training ground session for about a month straight before we even got started.
Oh, my gosh. What was the question that he lost on?
What question that he lost on? You should be asking, what question did he get right?
Cody, it's a series of questions, and it's just like going... in Family Matters, name what Urkel would eat on Thursdays.
Cheese.
That is a tough one.
Oh no, because no one knows that. Or it's just like, so the question is Marvel Comics. Name issue 47, page 23 of Midnight Suns or something.
No, here you go. Here's a basic question.
That's the son of Satan.
See, there you go.
Yeah.
Here's a basic question. Who was the first Batwing?
I'm sorry, the first what?
Batwing.
Nightwing?
Batwing.
No, this is a good one. Who's the first Batwing? That's a good one.
Yeah, who was the first Batwing?
Oh.
I don't know.
I actually don't know. I'm a big Marvel guy, so that's a tough one.
No, Cody, you're correct, and you're not knowing. Perfect. I'm Christian.
I don't know either.
Okay, so regular Scott, hit them with another question.
It's David Zimbabwe.
Well, no. Hit them with another question.
I don't have another question off top. I just remembered that one off top because that's the one that you always refer to.
Wait, I like this game. Let's keep it going.
I like this game. Yeah, hold on. You know what? I might have a few more. I might have a few more here on my doc file. Hold on. I might be able to work. I might be able to find something for you here.
Because Uncle over here has been grilled earlier, so now it's time, I think, to keep it fair that we grill you a little bit. So.
That was a toughie. I don't even know about Batwing.
Well, there was him, and then there was who was the other one? Luke Fox.
Oh yeah. Well, I got that one because I can remember that from the TV show. But dude, regular Scott, if these two fine, intelligent Mensa candidates can't answer that question,
wait. Keep going.
Yeah, you like that. and did I say good looking too?
There we go.
But yeah, hey.
If you lose your spot here, we may have another co-host spot on our show.
Look at this. Look at this.
Christian, let me know. I'm waiting, dude.
Oh, how the tables have turned.
Well, no, they're not turning, but
we could do like a wife swap situation where we just trade co-hosts.
Yes.
That's great.
But some of the questions are good, and some questions are just freaking crazy.
And that was a 1. That would have been a 1.
Oh
yeah. But, I would have screwed that up because I'm not like. Oh, go ahead.
They have a gaming. They have a system from 5 to 1. 5 meaning like super hard. 1 meaning really easy. That was considered a 1, by the way.
So 5 would be like what's like Chandler Bing's job.
Yes. Or more so like what is Bruce Wayne's social security number?
Oh, they don't give that out.
Well, you'd have to work backwards from his credit card that he had in Batman and Robin.
Exactly.
And then you could probably figure it out from that.
Or better yet, how much does Alfred get paid every 2 weeks?
No, even better. How much does Alfred weigh?
Ooh. I guess it depends on which Alfred we're thinking.
Oh wait,
that's true.
Better,
that's very true.
Do all three of you? This is just in your opinion. Do you think Alfred kind of knows what Bruce has been doing with Barbara?
Yes, that's his dad.
And look, I don't think he knows. I think he walks away before anything happens. He walks away before anything happens, so he can't know.
I don't know. I mean, who do you think cleans up Wayne Manor? Someone has to wash those sheets.
Oh God!
I think Alfred might have. He's got some dirt on Mr.
And
Master
everything's
Wayne.
recorded in there too, so Alfred probably be watching. Weirdo.
Right.
Well, I'm sure Bruce is rewatching it too. He's probably got some highlight reels.
Dang, we done turned Bruce Wayne into a pedophile, a weirdo, a creep.
Oh, we didn't do it. Excuse me. No, I didn't create that show. Or that.
No, you're right.
Let me say this: the Killing Joke animated was the most perfect animated DC movie that they made. If they just cut out the first 6 minutes of that silliness they put in
there.
The
first 30 minutes.
Oh, it's 30 minutes. It felt like it was. I was trying to hope it was only 6. It's so
terrible.
terrible.
Bruce can go for a while.
Bad stamina.
Dude, the whole first 30 minutes is just Barbara Gordon having this conversation with her gay friend about should I sleep with him? I think there's something there. Should I? Shouldn't I? And Bruce is
but she does it.
Yeah, no, it's Bruce's fault. What do you mean? That's 100% on Bruce. I'm not blaming Barbara for this.
Hey man, it takes 2 to tango, dude.
And then after she gets in the wheelchair, Bruce Wayne's like, ew, gross.
Oh, you're right. He is.
No. He's kind of like, well, no, you know what? He's like, hey, Dick, you should. I think Barbara kind of likes you.
To be fair, he did give her a computer and like a cell phone and be like, "Yo, just tell me where things are at and where I need to go. Thanks. Good looking out."
Christian, to be unfair, he stuck her in a tower. Okay.
That guy said, "So I'm gonna need the suit back."
And I want to be really clear about this. And he stuck her in a tower, and she's in a wheelchair. Okay.
Yeah.
He's an asshole. Okay.
She's not climbing down those stairs.
Yeah, he's an asshole.
Yeah, she got to wait for Alfred to walk up the stairs and go get him. They ain't even got no elevator in there.
Yeah,
I mean, he's also Batman, so he has like robotic like suits and stuff that he's built before.
I know.
So why didn't he just build her some like robot legs instead of?
Because he needed a
regular...
secretary, Cody.
Dude, I'm just saying, man. The Batman who laughs, he's not laughing about that. It's just terrible. It's just terrible. That's all it is.
Yeah, that was a rough one, definitely.
So I'm going to kind of combine this next news tidbit with one of our favorite games that we like to play here. One's Gotta Go. So I'm going to give you 4 choices. I'm sure you know the one's got to go. And you will select the one of the 3 that has to go. And then I have one where you can pick one of the 4 choices and the other 3 are all gone forever. So there's going to be one of each, a little twist on it.
And the first one up is out of all 4 of us, one of us has to go, and I think it's Regular Scott.
Well, I was going to nominate myself. One of us has to go, and I think it's going to be me. But according,
this is a intervention.
And the worst part is, you say that, Cody. This would not be my first intervention on this show.
True, very true.
This would not be the first time. There's been a rumor that the MCU characters from all the Netflix series will be available for the greater MCU universe starting. We'll start it in February. So I wanted to ask you all, out of the 4 Netflix characters, Jessica Jones, Iron Fist, well, actually, let's get Iron Fist out of there. Jessica Jones, Punisher.
He's got to go.
Yeah, he's already gone.
Please,
Jessica
dude,
Jones, Punisher, Daredevil, and Luke Cage. Out of those 4, one's got to go.
Hey, well, I do want to bring something up, though. I like the rumor, but that rumor's been circulating. But our guy who plays Luke Cage is in Evil right now.
Yeah.
So I wonder I don't know if he's able to break that contract or not to be in, you know what I'm saying?
Well, to be honest with you,
you got that Marvel money.
I don't think they would be in that big of a rush
to
put out another Luke Cage for a while. Like, I just don't see that character being a priority.
Okay, so Luke Cage, you said, man, you made it easy when you had Iron Fist.
I know I did. That's why I had to get rid of him.
Yeah, that was like
the thing is, I actually love Iron Fist the character. It's just not what they did with him in the show. Although,
you mean made him the worst martial artist out of all of them?
Which is unbelievable.
I did get excited at the end of the last season.
Oh yeah.
When he pulled out the guns, I'm like, all right, I like where this is going. And then, boom, gone. Same thing with Luke Cage when he took over the club. I was like, oh my god, this is gonna get exciting.
Yeah, I was
boom,
excited
gone.
about that too.
Yeah.
So they didn't get to do the hero, Luke Cage and actually Iron Fist like working together, Heroes for Hire. Like,
Heroes for Hire was cool.
Yeah, there was just so much potential.
If it was up to me, I'd say the one that I would get rid of out of those 4 would be Jessica Jones.
Ooh, damn it!
I'm not a huge fan of her character in like how she progresses in that show because she doesn't really progress. It seems like she's the same from when the show starts to when the show ends. Where with Luke Cage, you definitely see him growing into his superhero persona, being kind of reluctant at first and then getting, taking over as the King of Harlem or whatever. Daredevil's a no-brainer because he's amazing. And same thing with the Punisher. I mean, that's the best Punisher we've ever seen.
Absolutely.
So I'd say Jessica Jones would be, though I will say the first season with, what's his name? Is David Tennant? It's one of the Doctor Who guys.
Yeah, David Tennant.
Yeah. He was amazing in that, and he played a really great super villain, and her playing off of him was awesome. But the rest of it, like, I could give 2 shits about. So, and I think that Luke Cage has some he's still got some interesting stuff that he needs to go through, and that would be he would do really well, like living at Doctor Strange's house and like, going on crazy adventures with him and things like that.
Well, I was gonna say Jessica Jones just because I loved the show, and the only reason I was gonna say Jessica Jones because I
you don't want to seem like a racist.
What? No.
And Luke Cage was your real first choice?
No.
Hey, Christian, it's okay. We know you're racist. It's fine.
No, that's Cody's job.
Yes.
It's Cody's job.
I was like, I get a fresh start here on this show.
Yeah. If you should go back to some of the episodes, like the anti-Mexican stuff he said. Dude, actually, no, I got the story.
That's not true. It's not true at all.
Cody, Comic-Con. Yeah. Last Comic-Con.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's a shot.
Hey, regular Scott, all you heard was Cody just go, oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, in my defense, I had no control over what happened.
What had happened was...
Since people might actually wonder if we don't talk about it. So, we were at Comic-Con. I will start...
According to Christian only. I don't think anyone else corroborated the story.
Your best friend. So, all right. I will start by saying this. Cody is not actually racist. He doesn't have a racist bonus, but I will put my brown card on that.
Said every racist person ever. So it's fine.
I'm Mexican American, and I will put my brown card on that. He's not. That's my ride or die buddy. But Sleepy Cody or Dreaming Cody might be a little bit racist.
Sometimes I dream racist dreams.
He was asleep, and the fire alarm at the hotel went off. Or no, what was it? Was it loud music?
Yeah. No, that's what it was. It was fire alarm.
He woke up and he said, "What was it, like fucking Mexicans or something like that?" And then went back to sleep.
I believe. I don't know, Christian. I don't remember any of this. I do remember the alarm, but yeah, I guess I said that. I'm sorry.
He said, "I'm sorry." You ain't gotta apologize.
Wait, hold on, Cody. Before you apologize, was it the fucking Mexicans?
It might have been. I don't know. We never got to the bottom of it.
Okay.
To be fair, it probably was.
It was Christian. Christian pulled the fire alarm.
It was
so it was
me.
100% true.
Oh, so if it was Christian, you're good. You ain't tell no lie.
I guess
I just stated facts.
It's just more accurate than anything else, I guess.
Or were you having an erotic dream?
Oh, like he was banging Mexican. Dude, you should have leaned into that, dummy. You
oh, yeah. That would have been a good little, nice little segue.
Maybe that's what happened.
So now you all of a sudden figured out what happened.
I think it might be because I have really loud Mexican neighbors who live above me.
That's actually fair. That's true.
Who always have crazy parties, and maybe it was related to that. And I was just like, "Oh, they're having another party," but it's just a fire alarm. So
okay,
who knows?
Now I have to ask, and I apologize for this. I'm not trying.
He does use the N-word if that's what you're gonna ask.
Yeah. Dude, hey, Christian, why would I even ask that? Of course he does. Of course he does. Now
he said something about he says it 5 times in the morning. It makes his teeth whiter. I don't know what that means.
Dude, no. I heard Cody. You just said this when you wake up in the morning. You're like fucking Mexicans. But are you mad because they don't invite you to the parties, or it's just loud music?
No, it's. I mean, if I was invited, I would deal with it a little bit better. But the main thing is that at my house, there's a back door to the backyard that's right by my bedroom window. So they'll stay outside and like they'll run down the stairs, up and down the stairs, and then they'll smoke cigarettes right outside my window. And I'll keep the window open. So
I told you I tell you to yell
into my room.
Just yell La Migra and they'll go. The party's over. Yeah, and that's it. It's done.
That's why.
First of all, who's still smoking cigarettes? But okay, I understand. They don't like
it's 2020, guys. Jeez.
Yeah, Mexicans don't vape, dude. Sorry.
Okay, I got it. Yeah, got it. That's figured. Okay.
So what started this whole thing?
What started something?
Christian. Which one's going? Are you going with Jessica Jones?
No, Christian picked Jessica because he hates women.
Oh,
Yes,
is that what it is?
He's
Yeah,
always telling me how they should never have gotten the right to vote, and I'm like, Christian, come on, man, it's 2020. They've earned it.
I just go by Mexico's rules.
So Oz, which one of those four is gone?
Well,
We've got two for Jessica Jones.
Christian said Susan B. Anthony. Susan ain't Anthony, obviously. Jesus. Okay. All right.
That's how sexist I am. I don't even know who that is.
Oh.
Man, she was on the dollar.
Thank you.
Oh, that's right.
Cody, nerd points for that. Thank you very much.
There you go.
Now, Daredevil's not going anywhere.
Right.
Punisher's not going anywhere. Maybe I'm racist. I don't know about Luke Cage, but I will say this: not to get on the Jessica Jones anti-Jessica Jones bandwagon. I recently read like her trade back of her like Jessica Jones new stuff, and I was like, man, you suck as much as the TV show. The only reason I say that is because like her and Luke are married, they have a kid, and she's doing stupid shit, and he's just like, hey, yo, you know we got a kid, right?
Right.
So, yeah, and so she's like, I gotta do this, I gotta solve this case. He's like, you know we got a kid, right?
Yeah, we have a small child.
Right. So I would just say in lieu of that, just because I'm fresh off of reading that, little Jessie can go.
All right, so then I'll be that guy. I'll be the black guy to take the black guy off. Luke Cage, you're gone.
Why?
So I'm going to be completely honest with you. I think there is a really good story that the MCU can tell with Purple Man being in control of Jessica Jones. And that being her introduction. Like, I think there's a really good story there to be told. Luke Cage, I don't think that's a character that just really like, I thought the series was really well done. Like, don't get me wrong. I think Mike Coulter fit the character perfect. I thought Cottonmouth.
That first season was amazing.
Yeah, and I thought Cottonmouth got the short end of the stick. That might be why I'm not as high on it. If he would have had a full season, this could be a very different conversation. But
it's okay. He's Blade now, so
yeah, you're right.
He's good.
Better pastures.
He won.
Greener pastures.
He won.
But I think there's a really good story that can be told with Purple Man and Jessica Jones, and I think Purple Man, and maybe it was just David Tennant more so than the character Purple Man, but I thought that character is great, like just with the mind control and the way he couldn't do anything physically to Jessica Jones, but he had this mental power over her, and I thought there was a really good story. Like the first season's really good to me. I think the first season's really good.
He's amazing.
He did plenty of physical stuff to her.
Well, no. I mean, like,
No.
I mean, like, he can't physically beat her in a fight if they were fighting.
Right. True.
That's what I mean when I say that.
He was an amazing villain. Outside of Killmonger, who's still my favorite villain in the Marvel universe, he was my second favorite. Yeah, Killmonger was amazing.
Yeah, Killmonger was good. Okay. David, he might be my favorite. And I think I've said that on the show before, but he might be my favorite Marvel villain. Like he was, and if Cottonmouth had a full season, I'm telling you, I think Cottonmouth would be my favorite villain.
Yeah, well, and I think maybe part of the reason why they did that too is, when they're making these shows with these lesser known characters, they don't know if they're going to get a season 2,
or if
so I think they kind of, they shot their shot. And they're like, we're going to make the best single season we can. And that's why we didn't get enough Cottonmouth or enough Purple Man, So
yeah,
there might be some Hollywood reasons for that.
Well, the thing that always strikes me about Jessica Jones is just that she's so sad. The thing that got to me was that in the comic, she would always say that, man, nobody like Cap, the Avengers, no one bothered to go like, hey, she's been missing for like a month. Anybody heard from her? Like that's the thing that always got to her. Like no one really cared about her enough,
Well, that's the thing with alcoholics, man. They go missing for a while, and it's like, well, they're probably on a
binge. They turn up again.
They're always they're binging out, Yeah. So it's just sad.
Yeah.
All right. So now I'm going to flip this script, and you can pick one of these 4 choices, and the other 3 are gone forever. So one of these, either this duo, because I have Heroes for Hire, Kingpin, Punisher, or Daredevil. So one of those characters or group, Heroes for Hire, can be brought to the MCU. The other 3 are gone and can never be used in the MCU.
Oh, say those again.
Daredevil, Punisher, Kingpin, and the Heroes for Hire.
One can
as the Heroes for Hire.
That's a toughie.
Okay. I'll go Kingpin just because he's the villain to multiple heroes. Like
he is amazing. Vincent D'Onofrio is fantastic.
Like, but he could. Oh, well, I guess the Punisher wouldn't be there. But I mean, he's Spider-Man. He's Daredevil. Oh, I guess Daredevil wouldn't be there. I would still go Kingpin.
Okay.
Wow.
If it was me, I'd say. Again, it's very tough, but I love Daredevil.
Mm-hmm.
If it was me, I'd have to go with that. And they're hinting that he might come into Spider-Man 3 as Peter Parker's lawyer.
I've been thinking it's going to be Jessica Walters, She-Hulk, but I could see Charlie Cox too. That would work too.
Yeah.
Or Matt Murdock. I'm sorry, I don't know why I said Charlie Cox.
You outed him.
Right.
See?
What you got,
Scott, who would you? No. Who would you pick?
Oh, I'm Daredevil guy. I got Daredevil.
Yeah.
I'm Daredevil.
He'd be so good. He'd be so good with a movie budget.
Yeah, absolutely. And it could be low budget too.
Effects. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to go crazy, but I would love to see him taking over the Hand. I think that would be a really intriguing story.
And I think a movie budget. I think you could really get a sense of his radar sense. I think they could really kind of show that a little bit more on a big screen, than they did on the TV version. I think there's something to a bigger budget with him, and hopefully, I would be okay with either one, and I hope they keep Charlie Cox because I thought he really did a great job with the character.
He was great,
amazing,
man.
What you got?
As long as they bring Stick. As long as they bring Stick, I would want Stick in there.
Absolutely.
Every Stick that's been portrayed has been a great Stick. I wonder what happens if we were to keep the Punisher.
That was my very, very, very close one. Was Punisher just because he was amazing. Like, I'm blanking on his name right now.
John Bernthal.
Yeah, actually, on a sad note, his cousin sorry to bring down. His cousin died of the corona. He did a post about it.
Oh,
yeah, he posted about it. He did a video about it. Yeah.
Jesus, dude.
Now he's going to punish the coronavirus.
Yeah, coronavirus. It's going to be
got zero chance.
Solved next week.
Way to bring us down, Christian. Way to bring us down. We were having a great conversation.
That's what I did. Soft. Threw the ball. He hit it.
Wow.
I will say, in the argument for the Punisher, I really like if they had brought him in earlier to have him play off of Captain America, Steve Rogers. I've always really liked the interaction between those two. And I don't remember what run of the, I think it was in during Civil War, maybe, they meet up and team up on the new, or the Secret Avengers when they're all underground. And Punisher says I'm just you born, 30 years too late or 20 years too late. And it just shows you how society changed from, the time of World War II where Captain America was to Vietnam, which is when the Punisher was supposedly, getting all of his skills and stuff. So I thought those two were a really interesting foil to each other.
Have the Punisher hunt Spider-Man in the new movie. Boom.
Kraven the Hunter hunt Spider-Man.
Oh, that would be amazing, yeah. But I mean, if they were going to introduce the Punisher, just have him now that he's been outed, Peter Parker,
sure.
If he was going to hunt him down.
That'd be interesting.
Oh, you can definitely see S.H.I.E.L.D. hiring Punisher to go hunt that man down.
Oh, like a Black Ops guy?
Yeah, that type of deal where nobody knows it was S.H.I.E.L.D. that hired him. That'll be the big reveal at the end of the movie.
Or what if he shows up in Falcon Winter Soldier? as like, you know, the alternate version of Bucky, basically. Because when Cap died in the comics, there was that brief moment where the Punisher had his mask and kind of took over the mantle of Captain America for like, I don't know, 10 issues or whatever.
That would be good. I would be for that. I think that would be a cool, like, I think that's how you got to start kind of introducing some of these characters, is instead of giving them a full-blown series. I mean, some of them will work, but I think you just kind of sprinkle them in here and there, and they don't have to be main characters, but you sprinkle them in, let people see them, see what they can do, take them away for a little bit, make people want to see them instead of giving them and just giving and giving and giving. Take away some, you know, and make us kind of clamor and want more of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree totally.
So, I do. The last thing we're going to talk about, and I have to talk about it because I know Oz wasn't going to talk about it with me. So I'm so happy to have you guys on to talk about. Let's go ahead and talk about the Tiger King.
Ooh.
We've done like what, 3 episodes, but it's like one of those things that I could talk about it for days. I'm ready.
The gift that keeps on giving, you know.
Have you finished it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh okay.
Like
I finished
in
it
one
the
day.
It came out basically.
Okay. I know Oz isn't going to watch it, so but I am going to give out a couple big spoiler alerts. Spoiler
Real
alerts.
question. Why aren't you going to watch it?
I'll eventually watch it.
He ain't gonna watch it, Christian. Don't even let him get your hopes up.
I heard it's interesting, so I will partake.
If you didn't watch it with your wife, you're not gonna watch it.
It's so amazing.
It's really, dude. It's really good. Give it 5 minutes and you'll binge.
Why do you guys like it so much?
At least get to the part where you see the music videos.
Oh my god, fucking fire, dude!
They are good though. They are good.
Here, Kitty Kitty is going to be the song of our generation. You know, the one where it's like she's feeding her husband to the tigers.
I listened to a podcast the other day, and the person came on and said, "Hey, all you cool cats and kittens." I was like, "Oh, here we go. This is about to start."
Oh yeah,
dude. So when they first showed her, and she tries to portray like. I don't know. I feel like I can read people's juju pretty well, and like when she came on, I was like, nope.
Racist.
I was just like, there's something wrong with this lady. Like I just felt it in my gut. I'm like I just felt it, and then there's this one part where her husband's like following behind her, and the camera crew's like watching them, and she just turns around and stares at him like, "Why are you following me? Do you want to leave this interview?" And like she just starts lacing in. I was like, that's it. That's just a little peek of what she's really like, not this like fake portrayal of what she's trying to show.
Oh, she's nuts. Like she is the epitome of nuts. But the worst part is she's one of those calculated nuts because she like she is like she's probably a genius. Like she's so crazy that she's yes, that's a probably much better word. Because like she's got plans. Whether you want to believe them or not or think she don't, she got plans. And everything she, like, that's the reason she is where she at. Like, how you think this woman done got away from feeding her husband to her tigers?
Dude, my thing is, like, Joe Exotic was at least somewhat like, hey, man, this is what I am, a gun-toting hillbilly, you know, fucking, like, mullet-wearing guy. Like, he was at least honest about that. And him and, like, Doc and Tim Stark. Jeff Lowe. Fuck, Jeff Lowe is a fucking bigger piece of shit. But at least these guys could coexist, and they were like, "Yo, this is all right. I carved out Florida or whatever. You got fucking butt nowhere." But you know, Carol Baskin was like, "Fuck that. I want all of it. Like, fuck you guys."
And the way she would do it, she'd be like, "Yeah, I'm trying to help them," and then she would go and build the same things that she's trying to shut down. It's crazy that she could get away with it.
Yeah. If I was to try to sell this to you, Oz, I would say this. It's definitely an interesting peek into what goes on in the middle of America. And, you know, it's
the
also...
hopes and the dreams.
It's just, there's such a weird disconnect between, you know, I actually don't know. Are you guys West Coast here? California?
We are East Coast.
East Coast. Okay.
VA, so 2 up, 2 down.
Yeah. Oh,
let me stop.
We're gonna have the Biggie Tupac argument over here.
Dude, your whiteness showed so hard when you said 2-pack.
I know. I was thinking ahead, and
Christian,
I actually do like Tupac. But
Christian, it actually showed when we found out Cody hates Mexicans, so it's fine.
Yeah, that's what it showed. But what I will say is because we're on the coast, we're kind of cut off. We're in our own worlds. It's generally more diverse on the coast than it is in the middle of America.
It is. It's a bubble. It's a bubble.
Yeah, and we see, what's going on. Like, there isn't just one crazy guy in this show. The Tiger King isn't the only guy. Carol Baskin isn't the only crazy lady in it. Every single one of these guys is just like smoking meth and playing with tigers. And so, but the really interesting part, and this is a minor spoiler, but not crazy, is that the main Tiger King guy runs for president, and then he runs for governor of Oklahoma. And when he runs for governor of Oklahoma, he gets like 20% of the vote.
Yes.
And I mean, he's a crazy guy. He wears guns. He's got like 2 husbands. He's playing with tigers all day long. So
that he turned straight too, by the way. I mean, that he turned gay.
Oh yeah, he turned him gay. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I said that on our podcast. Like, if you play Dungeons and Dragons, he is a level 20 bard who like is amazing at seduction. Like,
yeah, well.
And like the guy is not like a hunky guy or anything. You know what I mean? Like he's
no, yeah.
Well, the pictures I saw, I was like, this guy has a haircut that looks like Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Oh, I'm sure he would tell you the dog copied him for sure.
Well, I heard he wants David Spade to play him in like the film adaptation.
Yeah,
of Joe Dirt. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
a quick question for all three of you since you've seen it. Our guest first, obviously. Was the movie entertaining or was it scary about what you think Middle America is?
This is not a movie, sir. This is a documentary.
Sorry. Yes, is a documentary. Was it entertaining or did it kind of scare you guys a little bit about what you think Middle America could be?
I know what Middle America is like. So, I mean, like,
I have a ton of friends from there too. So
it was just more like, yeah, it's kind of how I imagined it to be. I will say this: I didn't know that there's more tigers kept as exotic pets than in the wild. Like, I had no clue about that. Like, that was a big surprise to me. But one selling point, like, to you, just think of Carol Baskin as she is the kingpin, and Joe Exotic is like almost like the Joker. If that's kind of like
the mullet. Is it the mullet who laughs?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
And his last boyfriend was definitely the Harley Quinn.
Oh, for sure.
Oh my God,
for sure.
He is definitely the Harley Quinn of this all. Before she decided to tell Joker how it really should be.
Yeah. And I think, it is entertaining. Like, every episode you watch, because there's, I think, 6 episodes of it? 6 or 7. And every episode you watch, you're like, well, it couldn't get any crazier than that last one where that lady got her arm ripped off by a tiger and
goes back to work the next day.
To work.
Cody,
2 days later,
Cody, they all said it wasn't the tiger, it was the fence. The fence ripped her arm off.
That fence.
Oh my God.
The tiger that was attached to her arm, tigers don't rip arms,
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
And then the worst part is this dude had the nerve to go into the gift shop where everybody's at and it's like, hey, listen, Tiger just ripped one of our people's arms off. I can give you discounts or I can give you a refund, whatever you want.
Not only that, but he goes into his office and he's like sweating. He's like, you could tell like he's really worried. And the doctor people ask him like, what do you think? And he's just like, man, I'm just thinking like how much this is going to affect my bottom line. Not
like I'll never financially recover from
this.
Yep.
Oh.
It's
That's
classic.
Episode 1. That is the first episode.
And his employees worship him. They love him like they would do anything. Dude, the worst part, this is how fucking insane and like clever Carol Baskin is. She doesn't even have she only employs 30 people. The rest are fucking what are they? They're not interns, they're just
volunteers.
Yeah, just volunteers.
They're fucking volunteers.
Oh, so she's a pimp. She's a pimp.
Yes. Yes.
There's a lot of like that weird power dynamic where there's at least four characters in it where it's like these hillbilly looking dudes or psychopath Carol Baskin, but they have this like almost religious cult following to each one of them.
They're televangelist charisma.
Yeah, very much so. It's very strange because you're like, the Tiger King guy, he's turned at least two guys gay for him. That we know about. And then he's got all these other employees who won't say a bad thing about this guy who is literally like feeding them expired Walmart meat, and that's what he's like paying them in. So, but they love him. Everyone loves him. Same thing with the other guy, Doc, whatever.
Doc, yeah.
Doc, who's got like 3 or 4 wives, and he tells them all to get boob jobs and stuff like that.
No. Oh, the whole harem of women were his. Like
100%,
they talked to like 2 or 3 of them, which are probably the only ones he allowed to. But like,
the ones he trained the best.
One of the guys was like, "I don't care about training these animals. I need to know how you train these women."
Dude, that was one of my favorite lines, and that was Tim Stark. He was like, he was trying to train me how to train. He's just trying to train me how to train these cats. I said, "Fuck the cats. Train me how you teach these women to do what you say."
It's such a quotable like show. Like when you start, you're just gonna like replay lines in your head. Like, I can't believe he said that, and then you're gonna be like, I can't believe he did that.
He said that with a spider monkey on his lap. Like, in every time you see this dude, he has a spider monkey. He was on a tractor, and he said he had the spider monkey on his lap. And then they talked to dude. Tim Stark had the best line. He was like, they were like, well, they say you can't work with a spider or with a monkey on your back, so I just put the fucker in the front, and he starts working.
Oh my god!
Yeah, it's amazing. It's an amazing show, and I can't wait till you watch it and you see what we're all talking about.
Hey, by the way, I have a long week. Oh, you know what? Actually, I have a long weekend. I'm off tomorrow. I will be doing that. I will binge it tomorrow.
Listen, at least watch the first episode, and you're going to forget most of this conversation as far as like the specifics and whatnot.
No, I won't.
Yeah, you will. Because you're going to be so enamored with what these people are saying and like what's going on. I mean, like, and the gist of it is pretty much that Mr. Exotic tried to have Carol Baskins killed.
Of course he did.
So
by the bathtub assassin.
Yes, by the and this dude had pants on, like, like not shorts or something. He had pants on.
In the tub.
In the bathtub with bubbles.
They're from Oklahoma.
He had bubbles.
I wouldn't be surprised if he had his dishes in there.
Most of them are from Oklahoma, though. There are, like Christian was saying, there's a guy down in Florida. There's one, I think Jeff Lowe's from Texas or something like that. And then there's a guy in Indiana.
Too. Oh, he was how is he not in jail? How is he not in jail?
Oh, he'll end up there for sure.
Him and Carol both, but him more so. Like his is almost like 2 hours. Well, it's because he snitched. That's why.
Yeah, exactly.
It's because he snitched.
You should go to Big Cat Rescue.
Tekashi 6'9"'d it,
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Spilled the beans on everyone. But what's crazy is like I had no idea that there were that many private zoos in this country. Here where we are, we have the San Francisco Zoo or the Oakland Zoo. And it's like, nope, this is a Joe Exotic's private zoo. It's amazing how many people they have working for them and how many animals they have. It's nuts.
Well, you heard the stories like the people who like, not just like drug dealers, but people who like get these exotic animals and for some reason they can't take care of them anymore. Like they just like, they can't be released and they're just like there. And it's just wild,
100%.
If you just kept continuing with your thought process, you would have gotten to a conclusion on the show.
Well, who in your mind goes, you know what? I need a fucking tiger, dude.
Dude, they're only like $2,000. That's another thing
for a cub. Yeah, I was like, what?
That's another thing I learned. Man, $2,000. I could afford a tiger.
Yeah, I was like, a bulldog is more expensive than a fucking tiger cub.
Yeah.
Until that tiger cub starts to grow.
Well, he said it costs like $75,000. I could be wrong on this figure, but didn't he say it was like $75,000 a year to feed those each tiger?
No. What was it? Someone said that he spent like $10,000 a month or something like that to feed his. Oh, it was Doc. He said, "I spent $10,000." He's like, "These guys eat better than me." And then Joe was like, "I could do it at 3."
Oh,
yeah. The feeding of them, they said, was where all the expense went to, and
what
that's
do they
why.
feed him besides humans?
Walmart cold cuts. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
They would go to Walmart and he had to deal with the local stores where all the expired like steaks, hamburger, and lunch meat and stuff. They would just load up into a dumpster and like load into a box truck for him, and he would feed the tigers and his employees with that meat.
The employees did have first pick. So.
Yep, that's true.
How often did the tiger or employees get violently ill?
They
never really touched on that, to be perfectly honest.
That's so funny, dude. That's a pimp. Yeah. They're pimping.
There you go.
It's such a strange show.
But also for any here's the other side of it too. For any pimp, there's got to be someone who wants to be pimped. You know.
That's true. They're infringing on each other's turf. That's where Carol Baskin comes in.
Oh my God, dude.
And then the guy, the little puppy dog that she got following him around, like I'm surprised she even let him speak on the documentary.
Who, Mitch McConnell? McConnell?
Yeah, that guy.
That guy was amazing. But you know what's funny is I felt really bad not only for that guy because he's just attached to this like crazy lady, but the campaign manager guy who used to work at Walmart at the like guns and ammo section. He was like actually supervisor.
Yeah, he was
felt really bad for that guy.
He was like the only genuinely nice person that they showed. That like everyone else was kind of. Well, I mean, I guess
the girl who got her arm bit off wasn't too bad.
Yeah, and the guy.
She's a little strange. That's like they were like, yeah, we could save your arm. It just takes a year or two of physical therapy to get you back 100%. You're like, nah, just cut it off.
I got to get back to work.
Oh my God! Wait, hold on. Wait, so they like you said, they cut her arm off and she went back to work the next day.
Yep.
Yeah, it was like 2 days later.
Yeah,
she might have taken one day off or something.
Oh.
She had errands to do. She had to throw away half her gloves.
Oh God, dude.
I'm telling you, man, and like this is just like the first like 2 episodes is like everything that we're kind of telling you because it just gets weird. Like it starts off funny and then it goes to like this weird kind of like almost like mafia type story and it takes a lot of twists and turns and then they try to bring it back at the end and make it all kind of I guess a happy ending is what they were going for by saying Joe got locked up, but
it was pretty much a straight comedy for me the whole time.
Can you imagine the people making the documentarians, like the footage that they have?
They talked to a couple of them, and God. I don't want to ruin it for you, man. You should just
watch it. You gotta watch it.
I, by the way, Cody, Christian, and regular Scott, I will be doing it tomorrow for sure. Okay, that's awesome.
So I'd like to, if you guys don't mind, Cody and Christian, I listen to your show. I do actually really enjoy your Nerdy Confession segment. So I would like to end our show with Nerdy Confessions.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice. All right.
I like Batgirl.
I'm down. So yeah. So I guess me and Christian will start it off just so you guys can get some examples. But essentially, we just like to confess something that makes us a nerd, or something even like one of the ones that I go to a lot when I'm explaining it to people is something we're ashamed of as a nerd. Like for me, like I love every single one of the Fast and Furious movies. But as a nerd, I really shouldn't like those. You know what I mean?
Right.
They're dumb, but basically they're superheroes now, so maybe it all comes around. So my nerdy confession this week is that Animal Crossing just came out, New Horizons, and everyone and their mother is playing that game right now. All my friends, they're in a group chat. They've got 60 messages, unread messages, asking each other for different kinds of fruit and stuff. So I went and I downloaded it last night, and so I played it for a couple hours, and I still hate it. I hate it. I don't understand it. I just don't care at all about it. I'm going to give it a little longer to see if I can get into it, but yeah, I'm just not a fan of that one.
Cody, during this quarantine, I have been just playing Zelda.
Nice. I got Final Fantasy tonight, so I'm.
Wait, how'd you download it? Are you serious?
Yeah, it came out at 3:00 today, bro.
Fuck! I was waiting till midnight.
No, because of COVID-19, they released it early.
What, they should have announced some shit.
Hey, why Cody ain't let you know, Christian? Why he ain't give you the heads up?
Because Cody hates Mexicans, dude. Don't you know this already?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I'm excited to play that one. And also, so I bought a hard copy. It actually comes with 2 discs. If you guys remember back in the day on the PlayStation 1, it was like, 3 or 4 discs. So
yeah.
First time I've seen that on PlayStation 4.
I'm gonna copy it, so that means I probably won't even be able to play till like Monday when it's finished.
Oh, dude, it's like 60 gigabytes or something. It's crazy.
Nah. Well, I'm not going out anywhere to go get it.
Christian, what's your nerdy confession?
So I'm playing Resident Evil 3, and I always leave it with the Resident Evils. I always play the game at mid difficulty. And like right now, I'm first off, I want to say that game is sexist because like
hell of a statement.
Well, when you play as Jill, like you grind, you struggle, you watch your ammo, like it's hard to find herbs or it's hard to find first aids. But when you play as a Mexican Keanu Reeves, Carlos,
just give it to you.
I have extra ammo. I got grenades I didn't use. I got hella health packs. Like, dude, like
a force field.
Yeah. Men are just better at certain things, Christian.
He takes less damage, like when he gets attacked by zombies. I'm like, yo, man, like I'm struggling over here as Jill. But so anyway, that was just a side note. My actual nerdy confession is like I'm getting close towards the end of the game, and I might drop the difficulty on it, man. Like I'm struggling to beat it. I never really struggled. Like Resident Evil games are supposed to be half fun, half stressful, like the survival aspect. But this one, like they definitely, I feel like they amped it up a little bit. So yeah, I don't like dropping difficulty, but I might do that tonight.
Don't be ashamed. It's fine, Christian.
That's sweet that you're trying to make me feel better.
Well, that's because he does it himself. Or actually, Christian more so. His setting never leaves, rookie, easy, beginner.
Yeah, easy mode.
Yeah,
it's easy mode straight up.
Like the only other game it was like that was the Last Jedi game. Like that was fun.
Oh yeah, Fallen Order.
Yeah,
that was a toughie.
Yeah, excuse me, sir. Do you have very easy mode on this one? Okay, cool.
Yeah. Do you have one where I could just watch all the cutscenes? I'd prefer that, please.
Sounds like Grand Theft Auto to me. You want to skip this mission? Yeah, skip that.
Yeah, skip that. I'm not very good at this.
Now I can still have sex with the prostitutes, right? But I'm gonna skip this part. Cool. Okay. Great.
Yeah, I don't want to skip that part.
Oz,
Scott, how about you?
Yeah, what's your nerdy confession, Oz?
Oh man, nerdy confession.
I put you on the spot too. I intentionally didn't tell you about that.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, you have been intentionally not telling me a lot of things about the show, but but I appreciate it.
You just be happy I told you we were having guests on tonight.
Yeah, thank you. I'm thankful for small mercies. Thank you. Man, I don't know. I can tell you one that's not really a nerdy confession, but I watched Star Trek Discovery, and I tell you, the first season, the last episode, when Michael gives her speech in front of the Academy, and I don't care. I'll say it. I don't care. I'll say it. When she gives that speech,
say it with your chest out, dude. Come on.
I tear the fuck up every time she starts that speech.
Yeah,
dude.
Softy.
I would tell you this. I would tell you. I'm gonna give you a true nerdy confession, and regular Scott doesn't even know this. Before I have a big shoot production that I got to do or anything, I watched that.
Ooh, to get all pumped up.
I watched that to get motivated and amped up, and I'm like, let's do it, dude.
That is a solid nerdy confession.
I love it. Yeah, that's great.
I got to tell you, so that's my nerdy confession.
Wow, you really getting some stuff off your chest, huh? I didn't know that, dude.
That was good.
Hey, Regular Scott, I feel so much better for saying that.
Hey, listen, Christian and Cody, I might need you guys to come on like once a month. We can get some confessions out of this guy.
It's therapy.
This is a good therapy session.
Yeah. Wow. Well, I'm going to go and tell you I'm not going to be able to follow that, but
yeah, I know.
So my nerdy confession is, I guess I really enjoy watching original anime with the Japanese voices and subtitles.
Oh, nice.
Even Dragon Ball Z?
Oh, I love Dragon Ball Z.
Dude, I've actually, who did I piss off? Hell Pockets, Christopher, because I'm not feeling, I can't. Okay, so I grew up watching it in Spanish. Like every summer, my parents would ship me off to Mexico, so I would watch the Mexican version. And Goku has got a deep man voice, and the first time I heard adult Goku in Japanese, like, yo, why does he sound like a little girl? Like, I didn't understand. Like, how am I supposed to believe that this dude, like this alpha fucking fighter, sounds like a little girl? Like, I couldn't swallow.
Estrogen shots.
Yeah.
Why does he sound like Gohan?
Yeah. I will say, for the most part, I do like watching subtitles. The only downside to it is, when I'm relaxing at the end of the night and I'm watching a show or whatever,
it's too much concentration.
Play on my phone and stuff,
Yeah.
And you have to watch it and read it, unless I just wanted to learn Japanese for no reason. But yeah, I do think that the voice actors generally give it a little bit better effort when they're in the original Japanese. So I respect that for sure.
Yeah, and I also I think part of it is I feel like some of the I guess translation that you get, like it's some of it can be different from like what they say, like when it's just strictly the anime and you get the translation to what's being said in the English version. Like some of the Dragon Ball Z episodes, just for example, or actually better example would be like the Yu Yu Hakusho shows. Like some of what they're saying in anime is very different from what is actually said when it's like the dubbed version. When I'm watching like Toonami or something like that.
Or like with Naruto, where he's saying "believe it" every 2 seconds.
Yes. Yeah. Actually, here's another nerdy confession. I've never watched Naruto.
Oh, okay. There's a lot of it, so get ready for that. There's a lot of filler.
Wow, so you never watched any Naruto?
I think that might be why, because I heard there was a lot of filler. Like, because I think Dragon Ball Z has a good amount of filler, and people were like,
yes,
"Oh, if you think that has filler, wait till you start watching Naruto." And I'm like, "Okay, probably won't watch it then."
Yeah.
Well, at least, go ahead.
I was gonna say, at least in Dragon Ball Z, when there's filler, it's just like people shooting lasers at each other for like an entire episode. But with Naruto, it's like, oh, we're gonna go find someone's cat today, and what a crazy adventure.
Or like the battles, like they'll battle and then like you'll think it's over with and it's just like, oh, I have one more thing, and then it's like, oh God, they're still battling. Wait, stop it,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, that's Regular Scott. That was the thing that I love both those shows, by the way. But that's the thing that used to get to me about Dragon Ball Z. I was like, God, get on with it. But Naruto, oh yeah, there's plenty of that shit in there.
Well, I'm going to let you guys know we might end up doing this again. I like the nerdy confessions. This is the most that I've learned about Oz in years.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wanted. I only and it is straight up a nerdy confession. But man, her speech that she says
is still talking about it.
It's awesome.
Just a strong woman of color with a man's name, talking about space and adventure.
Just a strong, like raised by Vulcan woman of color.
Yep. Emotionless, just how I like them.
And that's the speech that gets him fired up.
Yeah. Hey, so Oz, how do you like your coffee? I like my coffee like I like my women, emotionless. It's a good speech about what it means to be a human.
You still talking about this speech?
I I feel it. I love Discovery. I thought it was great. Did you watch Picard yet?
Listen. So this is not a nerd confession. This is just kind of what happened because of COVID. Sorry. Every Thursday is Star Trek Thursday. So we watch. It kind of happened before, actually. We finished Picard, me, my wife, and my kid. We finished Picard, and we actually started Discovery. Now, I finished Discovery, but they're just starting Discovery.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, this is cool, man. It is so like, and my son, he loves Star Trek, so it's good.
Wait, so how's it going to be if when you get to that episode with the speech, and then your kid's like, man.
Why is Daddy crying?
Hey, so regular Scott, my son, Sam said today, he goes, hey, Dad, I don't think I've ever seen you cry. And then when they were watching Discovery, I was like,
oh, you will.
You just wait, son. You just wait.
Hey, Christian, when you asked that question, you made me spit out my drink because I was just thinking about that too. Like, this man about to cry in front of his son over some emotional speech.
Wait. So, do you want to tell us about the day you saw your dad cry?
We were watching Star Trek.
We were watching Discovery Star Trek. Is that why you hate Star Trek so much?
Yeah, I've always been more of a Star Wars guy. I'll never tell my dad. I don't think he can take it.
I don't want to see him cry again.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh man, but it's good. It's a good speech, man.
Hey,
it's a good speech.
Again, Cody and Christian, thank you guys for this because, man, you learn something new every day.
Yeah, no problem. Well, we were super excited to come on, guys. This was a lot of fun. We'll have to have you on our show as well because plenty to talk about. And apparently I got to read some more DC comics before we talk again, too, because got schooled on some of those trivia questions.
Oh no, you didn't. No, you didn't, because the questions were crap anyway. So you're like gotcha. Cody, you're doing just fine.
Whatever.
Just fine.
Whatever. Cody and Christian, thank you guys for being on. This has been a blast. This has just been a great conversation. We didn't even really have no topics. We had one news tidbit that went about 45 minutes. Just a blast talking to you guys.
But we scratched the surface, though, man.
We did.
Much more we can talk about.
We got
There's so much more.
We did. So plug anything you want again. Make sure you tell people where they can find you, where they can get your podcast, your website, and anything else you want to plug.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, as we said, I'm Cody and my co-host Christian here. We do a show called Nerds with Friends. NerdsWithFriendsPodcast.com is by far the best way to see all of our stuff. It's got our Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and our blog on there. We even wrote ourselves an origin story as kind of like in a comic book fantasy type way. So that's the best way to find us at nerdswithfriendspodcast.com. And you can listen to the podcast anywhere podcasts are found. So Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, all the good ones.
Yeah, and for Twitter and Instagram, it's Nerds with Friend, no S.
Yeah, because they shorted us on letters on that one. We didn't think that through when we were coming up with the name. But thank you guys so much for having us on. It's been an absolute blast. We like talking with other podcasters and stuff, but it's rare that we have this much in common with you guys. So it's been a lot of fun. We appreciate it.
Yeah, this has been a lot of fun. Great conversation. Looking forward to having you guys on again. This has been a really easygoing open mic. Just a great conversation, and maybe if Oz actually watches Tiger King, that'd be a great one to have you guys back on to talk about, because I'd love to hear his reaction to some of this stuff and get some faces on what's going on.
The only reason I'm going to watch it is because, man, Christian, Cody, you guys have given. I won't speak for regular Scott because he just talks too much anyway. You guys have given me so much insight, like the ideas, the thoughts. They're so brilliant. They're so smart. And it was just very relaxed and chill, and it was awesome, man. I look forward to the next time.
Thank you, guys. That's great.
Yeah,
we really appreciate it.
So one thing we like to do at the end of our shows is we like to give final blows. And those are pretty much, just kind of telling the audience a little parting shot, giving them something to the last thing they're going to hear from your voice until they download your podcast right after they finish listening to this. So what would you like your final blow to be, Cody and Christian?
Both hands, 2 hands, twist.
I'm not actually a racist. I'm actually a pretty nice guy. So
said every
that's
racist.
how I'd like to leave this. And I've definitely cried on watching Star Trek as well. So you're not alone there.
Now listen to me. No racist will ever say that. So thank you very much, Cody. I appreciate that.
Oz, what you got for the final blow?
Hey
Oz, why don't you go ahead and tell everyone where to find your Twitter at? You should be up to about 11 followers now.
Damn.
No, really. He might have 11 followers.
Christian, this is what regular Scott calls every day. Thank you very much. All right. No, you know what? You can find me at Twitter at OzzieReal. That's capital OZZIE. Capital REAL. I check my Twitter once every 3 months. So yeah, I'm looking forward to some new ads.
I'm gonna follow you. I don't remember the name, but I'm gonna ask for it in the DM, and I'll follow.
Look for a follow from @NerdsWithFriend. We'll be on there tonight.
I'm looking for number 12, and I do have one final blow, and it's kind of crazy. I do want to get one thing though, regular Scott. We got to say, I watched Glass the other day. For my final blow, if you guys have seen it, can I get your opinion on that real quick before we leave?
What? Where did that come from?
It's not very good. Yeah.
Okay.
It's really bad.
Was that the last
execution?
Was that the last one?
Yep, the very last one. Like they could have did so much more with it, right?
Yeah, it was a great idea, badly executed.
Yeah, you're telling me Bruce Willis couldn't do one push-up? Couldn't do one push-up to save his life? Come on.
Like he always does. He always falls short on shit like that, dude. You know?
I don't know what was more random, you asking their opinion on that movie or you saying that Elektra was better than Daredevil.
Well,
You've just been saying some wild stuff tonight.
I'm going to tell you, dude.
He's got some hot takes.
He does have some hot takes.
I'm going to tell you, dude. I still prefer Elektra over Daredevil. I'm going to keep it like that. I will say that.
All right, that's fine.
You know what I like? He sticks to his guns.
Yeah. Hey, now, Christian, there's no bullets in the guns, but I stick to them though. Okay.
There you go.
For my final blow, usually I shout out a podcast, but we have Nerds with Friends here today, so I don't have to do that. So my final blow is actually going to go to my grandfather, who had his 80th birthday the other day, and
thank you.
Yeah, so shout out to him, the big 80. You're doing great. Stay healthy. Stay home. You don't need to be leaving the house.
Yeah, I'll follow up on that. A big shout out to that 80-year-old man.
That's yeah. And don't worry, Oz. You only got about 10 more years, and you'll be there too.
AARP ain't got nothing on me, sir.
Nope, not for the last 20 years. You can find us on Twitter at NeedForMarvelVerseDC, or email us at NeedForMarvelVerseDC@GoDefyLife.com. Oz, tell everyone we'll talk to them next time.
As usual, everybody, peace and chicken grease.
And y'all have a good time, because we're going to have a good time until we talk to y'all next time. Peace.
Hi, I'm Cody.
And I'm Christian.
And we're Nerds with Friends.
Not just two nerds who have some friends.
No, we're your hosts for the podcast, Nerds with Friends.
We cover any topic that people can nerd out over, from TV, movies, and comics,
to conventions, tabletop RPGs, and much more.
Nerds with Friends comes out every Tuesday on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher.
And of course on our website, nerdswithfriendspodcast.com.
Join us every week as we confess our nerdy confessions and talk about the latest in nerdy news.
And remember, you're not alone. You're with friends. This is Nerds with Friends. Thank you for listening. Now back to the show.